Oh man, what a game. We looked down and out, huh? Down 14.
Coach, just thinking about what Donovan is able to do, obviously 5
Did he
points.
miss a shot in the fourth quarter?
Nope.
Didn't miss a shot. What I like, he got kind of everything in transition, right? It wasn't like static, he got it in flow, he was unbelievable.
And then also Isaac Okoro being able to not only create offense with the pass as a roller, but we also talk about how important his shooting is, especially looking back to last year's playoffs. To see him be able to do that, how good can this team be with him in that role?
I mean, it's funny when you look at our kind of offensive rating with him in the lineup, with those two bigs, and that was one of the things, right? Big question about this team, could those two bigs be efficient offensively? And they have been, but Isaac's been a big part of that because he's making shots. We're using him in the half roll. He made that big three. Me and BJ were just talking about it. Made that big three when we were about to sub. Made the play in the half roll. He was huge tonight.
Dan?
Considering what the last two games were and that you guys were down by 14 in
Yeah.
the third quarter, how important of a response was this from the team?
Huge, showed character. That's, we talked about it pregame. See what kind of, again, we weren't making shots at a high level. Our offense was average tonight, and I think our defense was phenomenal. I mean, they were hitting tough shots, hitting a lot of those mid-range, but we just kept saying, we'll live with the mid-range, don't foul them. So it really showed character and resilience, again, when we weren't making, shots at a high level.
What did you think of the job that Darius did defensively? I know they were getting him switched on to Tatum quite a bit.
I just told him in the locker room, I don't want to hide him anymore. Like, he's got to, it's playoff basketball. He's got to accept the challenge. We did do some different things, tactically to help him out a little bit. But we went back to our regular coverage, and he got two big stops at the end. Didn't foul. He's smart. He's fast. He's strong. I don't see why he can't be a really good defender, and he's showing he can.
Tim?
You said before the game you want to see how you guys would handle not making shots.
Yeah.
Making this be a competitive game. I assume you were pretty happy with the way that went from start to finish.
Tim, really pleased. That was, that was kind of my question mark a little bit with this team after those two losses to Atlanta. And it looked like we were down and out that third quarter. They were rolling. The crowd, was kind of down. We're all kind of down. And again, I felt like our defense kept us afloat. Like, our defense was good. Then Donovan goes on that, crazy run in the fourth. And, it's kind of like him and Tatum just dueling, which is, great for the crowd, great for the NBA. We're lucky, to come out on top.
And he obviously struggled a bit.
Yeah.
Friday, personally, struggled in the first half. What does it say about him to be able to turn it up like
Yeah.
down the stretch and pull this one out?
Him and Evan, Darius was the only one that really played well that first half, and that's a great thing about the NBA. 48-minute game, right? Like, if this was high school, what's high school, 32, or college 40? Like, you're done. But the game's so long, we stuck with it, and that's like Donovan's persona. Like, it's amazing. I've never seen a guy. He never gets down. Like, he's never like, guys. You think guys would kick the chair, or oh man, or get frustrated. He has a great demeanor about him, and never gets too down or too high. It's really he's much better than the coaches in terms of that. We're like, he's just like, everybody calm down. It's gonna be all right, and I think that's really helps you, bounce back from a poor first half like that.
You had the second best start in NBA history and needed to win tonight to stay in first, which of course says more about how good Boston is than any kind of indictment on the Cavs. But is there a pressure or a goal to kind of keep that pace? You know what I mean? Like, to sort of stave them off?
We haven't talked about it. Listen, after those two losses against Atlanta, I'm like, are we ever going to win another game? Like, I told my daughter, I'm like we could lose 15 in a row. Like, I mean, that's because this league, you know how good this league is, and so we're kind of not in that space at all in terms of, hey, we got or first seed or because you get rung up in this league, and it just like hits you in the face, like, oh my gosh, like Atlanta, like they're unbelievable, like are we dipping? And so you just which is natural to have those doubts. So now we're not in that space. But thank you for telling me we've had one of the best starts in NBA history. Makes it feel good overall.
And then you, of course, you turn this into a free throw contest both ways.
Yeah.
And this is one of the first chances we've gotten to see you do that. Where does that come from for you? And is that how you will always play it in a game like that? For
I've changed. I didn't used to be a foul guy, and up three and just change. I think the more and more evidence we're getting from NBA data and our people, and it just, the question always is at what time on the shot clock do you start fouling? And I think 10 seconds is kind of our thing, but we fouled before. I was like, screw that, we're fouling. Like, we're not. I don't want to see Peyton Pritchard come down and shoot a step back three. You just feel it, like. And then we fouled. We let him bring it up a little, fouled near half court, all that. So we do one special situation a day. It's kind of our kind of thing. So we either show it on video, or we you do something on the court because we're going to be in these games. We're going to be in these games in the playoffs, hopefully. So I think our guys are pretty educated, and we make it a priority to educate them.
Tom, on your list of inbounds options, where is throw it up high to George and let it
Man, that was, yeah. It's so funny. It's like, oh, yeah, great execution at the end of the game. That was garbage. Like, no one was open. So I'd say the other ones were really well executed, that one. But I will give ourselves credit for because putting George in the game, right? So we get, I think we got J.A. out, put George in. Better free throw shooter, and George is smart. He's going to find a way. But I don't think Evan made a bad pass, either, like a bad read, because I don't think anybody else was open. They did a great job guarding it.
Did you expect Peyton to miss that one there with 5 to go?
Yes, we were ready for that. We were ready. We thought he was going to miss. We were telling our guys, we put our best rebounders in there. We were expecting a purposeful miss.
Chris?
Kenny, going back to the Darius conversation with his defense and what you saw in this kind of matchup against Boston, does it allow you as a coach, as the season continues on, to be more willing to switch everything, especially in late game situations?
Yeah,
or are you not there yet?
and it was really a Darius thing because I mean they literally picked on him every single play. Like that's their style of play. Like I don't like every single play they picked on him, and this goes back to me watching the playoffs last year, and I think they did different things to hide them, and my point to Derek, like, we're not hiding you. You're good enough, accept the challenge, you're smart enough, because I think when you start, doing the tricky stuff, these teams are too good. You just gotta switch it. You gotta be able to switch, and if he's gonna play it into games, he's gotta be able to switch. And like I said tonight, he was phenomenal. Actually, phenomenal all game. So.
Mike?
Down the stretch, what kind of luxury is it to have guys like Darius and Donovan and George who just don't seem to miss free throws in those big situations?
Just great point. Great point. Got to make your free right. That's like the old coaching adage. Like you need to make free throws at the end of the game. Those guys are 90% right. Like unbelievable free throw shooters. The other thing about those guys, because like the draw-ups aren't always great and they let so much physicality defensively, just to have a guy that's can bust through with their speed and force just to get open at the end of games. I've been on the other side where you don't have that speed and force, and then you look like an idiot because you turned it over. But that was more our those guys' talent, and then they can knock down free throws. It's huge.